This is the Israeli Navy. You are approaching a blockaded zone.
An Israeli Navy officer orders the global Sumud Flotilla to change course.
Please change your course.
Replying over the radio, the crew identify themselves as civilians on an aid mission to Gaza.
We carry only food, aid, we carry water filters, we carry crutches, we carry baby formula for the people that you've been starving to death.
What follows is what members of the flotilla call active aggression, which is illegal in international waters.
There are between 10 and 12 vessels approaching our flotilla, including one boat moving much faster than the others, probably to conduct the interception. So, these are the last minutes to call on governments to demand the safe passage of the flotilla.
Communication systems are jammed. Some boats are hit by water cannons and others rammed by Navy vessels. The confrontation had been building since early Tuesday, when more than 40 boats entered what they called a high-risk area in the Mediterranean Sea. It's where the Israeli military stopped previous humanitarian missions to Gaza. Israel calls it an active combat zone, but the aggression this night is towards civilians, including the arrest of Swedish activist Greta Thunberg. Thousands of miles away on land, demonstrations break out across nearly a dozen cities as word of the Israeli actions spread. They include large marches in countries from where some of the boats set sail, with more than 500 people taking part. Many of them say they will refuse to sign Israeli papers, and the flotilla's mission to highlight the suffering in Gaza is not yet at end. Felix, Nyawara, Al Jazeera.
Earlier, my colleague Darren Jordan spoke with our correspondent Nida Ibrahim, and she explained what will come next for the activists who've been arrested.
Now the process is going to be taking them to the port of Ashdod, taking at least the bigger boats. The smaller boats, we expect the Israeli forces to try and sink them. But then they're going to bring everyone to Ashdod and then try to find the legal framework for them, whereby they're going to have to be presented to a court under the accusation that they've tried to enter Israel illegally, although they weren't trying to enter Israel.
They're in international waters.
And they were going to Palestinian territorial waters to try and drop aid in the Gaza port and go back.
You mentioned Ashdod there, Nida. The Israelis have been telling the flotilla boats to head to the port of Ashdod to offload the humanitarian aid, and then they will transfer it to Gaza. But should we believe the Israelis about what will actually happen to the aid?
Well, the main reason we have a flotilla is because we have an Israeli blockade that has been ongoing in Gaza for more than 18 years. And since the war started, we've been seeing how much restriction Israel has imposed on Palestinians and aid trucks from, that are not being allowed to enter. A trickle of Gaza's needs is entering right now. We're talking about dozens of trucks, if that. And we have been talking and comparing that to more than 500 trucks that used to enter Gaza per day. When we talk about these small numbers that are entering, and there's a vast need. This is what triggered these activists to come from more than 40 countries to try and bring aid to a much needed place. But let me say that this is a symbolic aid. They're bringing baby formula and some aid, but they're not sure that this is going to be hardly sufficient. But they're trying.
Huwaida Arraf is an activist who's part of the Freedom Flotilla currently sailing for Gaza. She says the international community is failing in its legal obligations, not just toward the flotilla, but the victims of Israel's genocide.
Israel, its actions are not only intimidating, but they have caused serious injury and death to civilians on this flotilla. But what we have seen is that our countries allow Israel to get away with it. They have never held Israel accountable, even for killing civilians. And so we call on these countries to uphold your obligations under international law to Palestinians who are undergoing a genocide. Countries have a responsibility to act to end a genocide, and also countries have a responsibility to protect their civilians. So we are sailing peacefully in international waters, and Israel is threatening and has also already undertaken these illegal actions against us. They are attacking us, and our countries are not only not doing anything, but recently we've heard countries, just the other day, Maloney in Italy asking us to stand down, so to protect Israel's illegal blockade, and then not doing anything to pressure Israel not to violate our rights. The last boat that I was on 2 months ago was flagged in the United Kingdom. So what does that mean? It was sovereign UK territory in international waters that Israel attacked, and not a peep from the UK that Israel attacked UK territory in international waters. That is the extent to which they go to protect Israel's illegal conduct.
Don't miss out. Get a full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.